The next goal in economic policy is the idea of full employment. What does this sound like to you? What does this mean? Full employment is a condition in which virtually all people who are able to and willing to work are employed. Basically, if you're able and willing, you can find a job. Often, when we think about employment, we're concerned with unemployment, or essentially the percentage of people who can't find jobs. So as such, does full employment mean 0% unemployment? Well, for the government, that's essentially a pipe dream. There's always going to be some degree of unemployment as people lose jobs, switch jobs, etc. So what then is an acceptable level of unemployment? Well, for the federal government, 5% to 5.2% unemployment is considered full employment, or at least acceptable unemployment for the federal government. Why then are policymakers concerned with the idea of full employment? Well, it takes us back to the idea of countercyclical behavior. Remember, as unemployment goes up, in this case, less people are working and less people are buying things, thus government revenues decrease. Further, as less people are working, more people are drawing on those government services like welfare and unemployment insurance, thus government expenses increase. How then do we operationalize full employment? Well, as we've noted before, we're concerned with unemployment rates. Quickly, Google your state's unemployment rate. What is that number telling you? That's the percentage of people who are out of work and cannot find a job in the economy. Now take a look and see if you can find the national unemployment rate. This is the average rate across all American states. How your state is doing in relation to the national rate tells you if your state is doing better off or doing poorly. But this isn't the only way we consider the idea of employment. We can also consider the idea of wages. What trend is occurring right now in the country? A lot of people are discussing the idea of the minimum wage. Is it too low? Has it failed to keep up with inflation? What about wages in general? Are they growing or have they remained stagnant? Further, we often hear conversation about the idea of a living wage, or essentially, a wage that can purchase you what you need to sustain your life: food, housing, energy, transportation, health insurance, etc. For some economists, it's one thing to consider unemployment, or employment in the other case, but otherwise, we want to think about it in terms of the idea of, well, how much you're making in that job. Additionally, policymakers are concerned with trends in employment. The US economy is changing, as we are seeing fewer manufacturing jobs and more service jobs being created. We additionally are seeing growth in the creative class, or jobs that deal with things like music and art. Additionally, we are seeing growth in different sectors of the economy. Since the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, there's been significant growth in healthcare jobs. And with that, we have also seen growth in interest groups, in particular those dealing with healthcare. Finally, we are seeing changes in demographic trends as well. More and more women are entering the labor force at higher rates and are competing with their male counterparts for higher paying jobs.